Okay, this is part one of our solving multivariable equations. All right. A set of equations, you guys will be given a set of equations, 3 linear. So there's not going to be anything with x squareds or anything like that. It'll be 3 linear equations. As you can see, there's x values, y values, and z values. If there was one of them missing, like if the first example or if the first equation didn't have an x, it was just negative y and a positive z, you'd put a 0 in for x as a placeholder. But as you notice, when we're talking about solving linear equations, just like when we had 2, you want to get everything in a row. So you want your x's in a row, your y's in a row, your z's in a row. Does everybody see that? And then your constants are over here. All right, that's real important that you have everything lined up. When you answer, instead of having an ordered pair like we did an x and a y, you're going to have something called an ordered triple because you're going to have an x, a y, and a z. So what we're going to do is ultimately we're going to be given 3 equations like this top right here, and you're going to turn it into something that looks like this, and then you can solve for all 3. So what we're going to do first is to work on equations that are looking like this. This is called back substitution. In a case like this, how would we solve these equations? How would we solve these equations? What would you guys do? I'm not even going to teach you how to do this. I want you guys to just talk to me. Look at me and tell me, how would you work yourself through this?
You plug in z is equal to 2 first.
Okay, so I'd plug that in here, right? And then I'd find out what equals.
Yeah.
I'd find out what y equals, right? Then we would take the y that we found and the z that we found, and we'd find x. Right? That's why it's called back substitution. You're working backwards. So that's what we're going to do today. I just want to do a couple problems where you guys are used to that. So what we're going to do, ultimately, at the end of this, you're going to be given equations that look like this up here, these 3. You're going to do some mathematical stuff to turn it into something like this, so then you can go back and solve the equations. So if I look at this, like we just said, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 and plug it in right here, right? So I'd say y plus 4 times 2 equals 7. 4 times 2 is what? 8. So y plus 8 equals 7. Subtract 8 from both sides, and I get y equals what?
-1.
-1. Good. So now I'm going to take my -1, and I'm going to take my z equals 2, and I'm going to plug those in here. So I have x minus 2 times y, which is -1, plus 3 times 2 equals 9. So I have x, what's a -2 and a -1?
+2.
Plus 2, good. 3 times 2 is 6, so plus 6 equals 9. X plus 8 equals 9. Minus 8 from both sides. And x equals what?
1.
1. So we don't leave our answers haphazardly written everywhere. We're going to write them as an ordered triple. And the order matters, guys. The x, y, z. It goes in alphabetical order. So your ordered triple would be 1, comma, -1, comma, 2. And that would be your answer. And then how do I know, before I go on to the next problem, how do I know that, oh, that one's right?
You plug in.
You plug in. This is my x, this is my y, and this is my z. It's really easy to make silly mistakes, like here on this for my y value. If I said 7 minus 8 was 1, right? You know, just not paying attention, so you write your ordered triple and you get 1, 1, 2. That's a huge difference. So just make sure you guys take 2 seconds to just plug back in. Look, if I put a 1 here, a -1 here, and a 2 here. I have 1. What's negative and a negative is positive, right? So 1 plus 2 is 3, right? Plus 3 times 2 is 6. So 3 plus 6, does that give me 9? Good to go. Look down here, y and z. Well, y was -1 and z was 2. So -1 plus 8 is 7? Yes. So you guys are good. Make sense? This stuff's super easy. Now, if they ask you for a question, if I say to you, okay, show that this ordered triple is a solution, I'm already telling you that this works, right? If I'm telling you, show me this is a solution, you know then, oh, all right, this works already. So you have to go through the motions. You cannot just go and plug into one and say, oh, the top one works, so it's good. You have to plug in all 3 because there will be times when a solution works in the first 2 equations, doesn't work in the third. Works in the first and the third, doesn't work in the second. So you need to check them all. So very quickly, to show me your work, this is what you guys would do. X value is 1. So here I would say 1 minus 3 times y is 0, right? Plus z is 2. Does that equal 3? Well, let's go through this. 3 times 0 is what? 0, right? So 1 plus 2. Does that equal 3?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so it works in the first equation. Let's try the second one. 2 times 1, because that's my x value, plus 0, minus 5 times 2. Does that equal negative 8? Well, what's 2 times 1? 2. What's negative 5 times 2? Negative 10 equals negative 8. Does 2 minus 10 equal negative 8?
Yes.
Yes. And then the last one, let's pick a different color. Let's do this one. I have 1 minus 0 plus 3 times 2. Does that equal 7? Bad color choice. What's 1 minus 0? 1 plus 6. Does that equal 7?
Yep.
Yep. So doing all of that took us 28 seconds. We just proved that this is a solution for this set of equations. So if they ask you to do something like that, this is what they're asking you to actually do. All right, let's look at this last one, and then we're going to be done. How do I solve this problem? You're going to have problems like this on your final exam. How would I solve it? Anybody?
Z equals 8 to plug into
The second equation? Good. We're gonna work backwards. So I know that 8 right here is my z value. I'm gonna find the x and the y. So I say y plus 2 times 8 equals 6. So y plus 16 equals 6. Now what?
Subtract 16.
Subtract 16 from both sides, and I get y equals negative 10. Agreed?
Agreed.
Okay, so negative 10 is here. Now I'm going to take these two values and plug it into the top equation. So 2x minus y. It's minus, guys, a negative 10 plus 5 times, what's my z value? 8 equals 24. So I have 2x minus a negative is plus 10 plus 50, or 40, sorry, plus 40 equals 24. Agreed? So 2x, what's 10 plus 40?
50.
Plus 50 equals 24. Now what?
Subtract 50.
Good. Subtract 50 from both sides, and I get 2x equals, what's 24 minus 50?
Negative 26.
Not a girl, negative 26. Then divide both sides by 2, and x equals negative 13. So negative 13. So this is my, I don't like the way I wrote that. Negative 13, negative 10, positive 8. Those are big numbers. Let's plug them back in just to make sure that this works. Let's go to the top. So I have 2 times negative 13 minus negative 10, right? Plus 5 times 8. Does that equal 24? So 2 times negative 13 is negative 26. Plus 10 plus 40 equals 24. Does this work? Negative 26 and 10 is negative 16. Plus 40 equals 24. What's negative 16 and 40?
24.
So does 24 equal 24? Yes, we're good to go. So that means this is my ordered triple. This is my x, this is my y, and this is my z. Does that make sense, ladies and gents?